Alright, so my wife and I are out having lunch here and we're talking and whatnot, and my mind kind of wanders and I just go off on insane tangents, and this is one of them. So we're going to be covering all sorts of topics here. Now one of them was someone like sitting around in like ancient Rome and thought, hey, I got a good idea. Let's get one guy to strip down to almost nothing, put him in a little skimpy pair of shorts, have another guy strip down to almost nothing, put him in a skimpy pair of shorts, put him in a little ring, and have them beat the shit out of each other and put their arms under each other's nutsacks or something and throw them. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? I mean, I guess that's what you call modern wrestling now, but it's just not my idea of a good time to do something that involves putting my arm under some guy's sweaty nutsack. Not my idea of a good time. Now, if that's your idea of a good time, hey, God bless you, go for it. And when you think about it, you got to give these wrestlers a lot of credit. They're getting paid a fucking fortune to do this shit. Me, wrestling, when I was a kid, I did some wrestling, but I didn't think it was that fun, really. Now, in fact, when you're supposed to, when you wrestle, you're supposed to shake your opponent's hand. So there I am in Highland High School in New Jersey where we wrestled, and I put my hand out to shake my opponent's hand. The fucker knocks me over and pins me. So that was my first wrestling match. And that was really the only time they used me. I wound up leaving the team. The coach never used me. My mother talked me into this, so maybe she, read a book and she thought, oh, maybe my son will enjoy this here, wearing some stupid, goofy-looking half tank top, half shorts, goofy-looking combo, weird-looking 21st century ballet bullshit. But it was the summer of 1980, hence it would have been futuristic-looking shit. I don't know. That's not my, it wasn't that fun. But one time we're practicing, and the coach's son, he pinned me. And back then, I wasn't the fat fuck that I am now. I was a scrawny little shit. So this guy, he's got me pinned. And then the coach was like, get him off you, get him off you. I said, I'm trying. Your son is too fat, sir. I actually said that. So maybe that was the comeuppance I got now that I'm a fat fuck, because I was, I said that back then, and then I wound up becoming a fat fuck. I don't know. That's just because I like eating a bunch of, food that's probably not the best for me, but yeah. But at least I'm fucking happy. You see all these people that are eating all that tofu and all that shit, all that goofy crap, and they're dropping dead when they're 38 and whatnot. I just turned 50, and I ate like a dumbass. So anyway, on the other topics, I got to thinking, like, we're talking about Star Trek the Motion Picture, and Lieutenant Alia says her oath of celibacy is on record. So I'm guessing that means nobody can fuck her. Okay, fine. But what about everyone else on the ship? Like, because I'd be like, okay, so she signed an oath of celibacy. That means I can't bang the ball chick. What about the hottie Lieutenant Uhura over there? Or what about when Chief DeFalco shows up later after Lieutenant Alia gets killed by the probe? That one had some ass on her. And that actress was married to Shatner at the time. So Shatner enjoys coming home and seeing a good, healthy set of cakes back there. But when she drops her shorts, just, we're there at the bakery and whatnot with cakes. So, because they got that scene in the rec deck where there's like a crew of 430 people. And I don't know how many, what the ratio to men and women is in there, but I know there was a lot of women in that scene. And you got to figure, if you're out in space for 5 years, you're not going to want to jerk off every fucking day. You're going to want to get laid. So that would be my question. Okay, the ball chick is off limits, but what about all those other chicks, starting with that hottie Uhura? Because if they tell me Uhura is off limits, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. This 5-year mission for me is over. This is ridiculous. I'm going back to Earth. You think I'm going to go for 5 years out in outer space, and you're going to tell me I can't have sex with Uhura? No. The only time I'm not doing that is when she's on her cycle. And even then, I could probably get a blowjob. Now, I know these are things Star Trek doesn't normally deal with. But they do sort of deal with something in Star Trek 5 that says, please do not flush while in warp drive. So we do know that people on the Enterprise take a dump. So if they're taking a dump, they're probably pissing. I know they got a sonic shower. So they're shitting, they're pissing, they're showering, they're washing their ass, they're keeping clean, and they're going to want to fuck. So, as I said, you know, there's no one going to go 5 years without screwing. Well, maybe a Star Trek fan might go 5 years without screwing back in the day, but now, like, you know, one time I wound up getting laid because I was sitting in a college campus reading a comic book, Ultraman. I still got the comic book, but that was unheard of back then. Now, you know, comic fans are fucking other comic fans, and you know they're going to the. Oh, I tell you, they're probably cleaning a lot of sheets and whatnot at the San Diego Comic-Con. You got them sweaty dorks that don't shower for days at end, fucking other sweaty dorks that don't shower for days at end. So, good Lord, I tell you, they must have maids quitting left and right at that fucking joint. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna go find another job. This is not worth it. These fucking fat fuck comic fans are sweating their fucking balls off and tit sweat, vagina sweat, ass sweat, ball sweat. Fucking get it. They probably got maids quitting hotels in San Diego every 25 minutes. So these are just some things for you to ponder. Now, let's say I was back in ancient Rome and somebody comes to me with this idea. You want to go watch a bunch of guys in skimpy shorts grab each other by the balls, and no, I don't really want to watch that. Why don't you go do something useless, like invent a fountain? You know, go get some water and make a statue, or better yet, after you make that fountain, go get me one of those people from Pompeii that we imported that got frozen. You know, that guy that got frozen when all the lava come down, well, frozen or solidified in place, whatever, he makes a good footrest. So go get me my footrest, build a fountain, and I don't want to hear anything more about two guys in skimpy shorts grabbing each other by the nuts and throwing each other. However, if you want to get a bunch of women and put them in the same shorts and have the shorts shoved halfway up their ass, and you get them fighting and rolling around, that's fine. But I guess by that logic, you got to have something for everybody. So you just have two different arenas, I guess. If you want to watch all the guys grabbing each other by the balls, you put them over there. If you want to watch all the hot chicks fighting each other and you know, fun stuff like that, you put that over there. And then I guess in ancient Rome, if you had really like the equivalent of modern stupid Southerners, then you would have all the carriages or wagons or whatever you got. You'd have them over there, and you'd have the, you know, the Monster Jam and all that shit. So there you go, folks. I've just managed to babble about Star Trek, lesbians, wrestling, fountains, and Pompeii. But hey, you know what? Rickle said you got to hit everybody, but you got to provide entertainment for everybody. So go. You want to grab some balls, you go grab some balls. You want to watch two chicks grab each other by the groin and flop around, which is this is where I would be. You go watch that. And also, what you have is they should also have the running of the bulls. I would like to be sitting up here watching people gored by bulls. So I'd be watching the chicks wrestling and then the people getting gored by the bulls. And then when I was done with all that, I'd go into my time machine and go to the Enterprise and make sweet love to Uhura. There you go, folks.